Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Here's Container, the original version on the right. We're going to have Container, the new 10th anniversary Jumbo edition on the left. I want to show a comparison of these two videos. So whenever we see components on the left will be the Jumbo edition, and on the right will be the first edition. First off, you can see the boxes. The artwork is different. Would you rather see the containers that you're moving or the ships with the containers on it? And these kind of look more like the components, although if you look really closely, they are what you would see at a dock. This one does include the investment add-on. Just be aware of that. But if you put the boxes on top of each other, you can see the Jumbo box is quite a bit bigger. And if you put them side by side, you can see, this one probably is a little bit thicker. Not too bad. You can see the back of this box has some of the gameplay elements on it, as does this one, but has a whole bunch of written script in different languages and a small picture. This one has a much bigger picture and is just provided in English. So here are the boxes when you open them up, what you're able to see. And the Jumbo edition has this big white thing over it, and then you can kind of see the breakdown of what you're going to get. Here will be the rule book. I'm going to pull these out. We'll take a look at them in just a few minutes. We'll set them aside for now. But I do kind of want to show you what it looks like for the packaging inside. This one right here has a little bit of a lip where you can get the board out. Then you can see this is made of cardboard. And this is all put together where you put your ships in, etc. And this one has a more traditional plastic insert. Nothing here where the ships would go. They kind of just go in here. Your cards will be in here and your components kind of stuck. So very similar. This has a cardboard insert. This has a plastic. This has a place for the boats to go in their unique positions. So they all just kind of sit in right there. Just depending, 6 of these, half dozen of the other to me. So let's take a look at the rule books here. We'll take a look at the Jumbo edition first. You're going to see full color components on the front page. Here you're going to have a table of contents that will go for the different languages that you're looking for. Now I do want to say that this rulebook paper for the original is probably nicer than this one. This one feels like real paper. I don't know. It has a really nice fit to it. With the Jumbo one, I'll show you this rulebook first. You have a picture of setup, the different buildings based on number of players, and how the player board is set up. And then what you'll be able to do is jump into playing the game, an overturn of the first turn and your normal actions, how you do things, and pictures and examples included. Lots of words, not a lot of pictures, kind of the bluffing and how the cards work. Export rules are put there in pink. And then you can see here the game end and final scoring, how loans work, and how the investment banker expansion that comes with this is included, and how you would play that completely with it, and a turn overview on the back. Now this one is thicker because you're going to have a lot more languages. You're also going to have a pretty big introduction here. The component side of it's really small over here, and setup is down here with no picture of setup. You have more setup, and then playing the game will go through. Once again, not a lot of pictures included here. You have the loan section over there. You have the ending of the game and the final scoring, and some strategy tips that will be placed in here, and then it continues on in different languages. So they're very, very similar. If I had to pick one of these rule books, I'm going to go with this one. It also comes with an expansion inside of it. So for the rule books, I don't like multi-language rule books. I think they're very confusing. I prefer this. I like the colorful of the components. Very good job on both, though. Here are the player boards that come with the game. This is for the original. This is for the Jumbo edition. First off, the colors are very, very dull on this one. And here's another board. They all look exactly the same except for the colors across the top is the only differentiation. Otherwise, they look exactly the same. If you look here, you can have this bright yellow that's all over to show you the player area. And then the red one kind of has different looking things on it because of the colors, although all the artwork is exactly the same. This is going to be much bigger. You can see this one can fit on top of it right here in the corner. And the Jumbo version allows you to have a lot more space. Is that needed? Maybe, because the components are going to be bigger for this version. You're going to have a lot more color. I think the color is a lot more vibrant with this. When it comes to the player boards, this one wins like 10,000% over that one. So here are the two different islands. This one's a more rectangular feel with the original. This one has more of a square feel with a circle being placed on it. You can see the colors and the icons, so it's very much color friendly. Where this one is just a color. So if you're colorblind, you might have some issues here. They're longer for things to go into. But once again, you have that dull look. I don't know why this one looks so dull. This was much more vibrant, much more colorful. But it is a circle and has the icons, which I like. If I had to pick one, it would definitely be this one. This is the Investment Bank expansion. It's a board that comes with it. This is not in the original. This only comes in the Jumbo one. It is part of the container expansion, which is not part of this box set, so you're also going to get this board. Very colorful, lots of options on it, but does give you an expansion. Both sets you're going to get these little cards that will represent the money. This is the original, this is the jumbo set. They are exactly the same size, just with different artwork on it. This one's much more colorful. This one has that same dull look of the rest. The numbers are bigger on the jumbo version. The artwork is bigger on this one. I prefer the numbers to be bigger. I prefer the vibrant colors, but your mileage may vary. But they feel like the same material. The backs are different with different artwork, but they feel about the same to me. Here, the difference in the little factories you'll be building. The jumbo one is humongous compared to the other one. Material-wise, this one feels heavier, but it is bigger. But the shapes, everything else, kind of feels the same. This one's bigger, so bigger is better, then this one's better. Otherwise, they're pretty similar, to be honest. Here are these components. This one's from the first edition. This one's from the jumbo. You can see the size difference. As for component quality, they feel very, very similar. Not a whole lot to say about these. They're kind of generic looking. Not my favorite components in the world. If bigger is better, then the jumbo version wins. If not, if you like smaller, then this would win. Otherwise, they feel like they're exactly the same. Okay, so these containers that you'll be shipping, there is a noticeable difference here. This just feels like a regular piece of wooden marker that you would get in a generic game. This one feels and looks more like a crate. You can see the detail that's kind of put to the side. The colors are pretty much, unique to what they are. This one, the jumbo one, is much bigger, has a lot more detail in it. It's just a piece of wood. This looks more like a container. This one wins by far, not only for size, but texture and the way that it has a detail in it. This is a much better component right here. Here are the two ships side by side. The yellow one is from the first edition. The blue one is from the big box jumbo bin. You can see they both have grooves that the containers are going to fit into, so those are pretty even. Now, the jumbo one is going to have a lot more detail and be a lot bigger. You can kind of see the detail that's kind of put into it right here, etc. It's much, much bigger, much more prominent on your table. But this is very similar. It's just a smaller version of it. You're not going to see the detail that you're going to see right in here. But very similar. If I had to pick one, of course I'm going to pick this. Has a better presence on the table, has the details that you like, and just much, much more impressive compared to this. But you know what? This looks pretty darn good. For a component in a board game, this is great too. But this is just better. So here what we have here is the first edition versus the jumbo edition. At first glance, you think this is an anniversary edition, or maybe perhaps you think that this is a collector's edition. But in fact, it tells you it's a jumbo edition. What that means is that most components are just bigger in here. The rule set for the most part is exactly the same. This one does come with an expansion, which is a nice plus, and might sway you to get this one. Of course, if these are the same price, without question, you would go with the jumbo edition. But more than likely, what's going to happen is this edition is going to cost you more than this edition. This edition isn't as nice. I do like the presentation, the colors, the jumbo. This is a very nice package that looks very nice on your table. Versus this, I don't feel like it looks as well, mainly because of the player mats and the drab coloring that's associated with it. If I had to pick one, I'd by far pick this one. But what's likely to happen is it's going to be more expensive than that one, and you're kind of like, where would you want to go? Honestly, if you can handle the muted colors and the drab colors, I think you might be better off saving your money and going with this one. I prefer these upgrades and love getting them and like the jumbo nature, and I dig all that and really like it. So for me, this is the version I would get. Although somebody could make a very good argument for this, and I can understand with a cheaper price, it may be worth going this route. Well, that's a discussion between the first edition container and the jumbo edition of container. I hope this helps you differentiate which one you may want and which one would be worth upgrading for you. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.